back to the Blue Line Hockey Club, folks. Another exciting episode of the Blue Line Hockey Club. We've got episode 99 tonight. It's going to be a great one, boys. We got all the usual suspects in the house with us tonight. We've got our producer, Patrick Uncle Lardy Sullivan. What's up, Patrick?
Aloha.
And our IT guy, our local nerd on staff, Robbie P. Peters. What's up, Pete?
Hey, how you bombing him?
And the all-around sports guru, Derek D-Train Heat. What's up, D-Train?
What's up, Sweeto?
And your host of the Blue Line Hockey Club tonight, Mark the Doctor Morley.
Oh, Doctor.
We got a few guests sitting with us tonight. We've got Chris, the Seltzer King Mancuso. What's up, Chris?
What's up, boys? What's up? I came prepared tonight. I know that we have someone from Nova Scotia here, so I brought some Blue Lobster. I'm ready to talk some hockey and have a couple of drinks.
All right, now. Speaking of Nova Scotia, we've got James from the Offside Hockey Talk. What's up, James?
What's happening, boys? Can't wait to get talking, enjoying some drinks. Mancuso, you know that Blue Lobster's going to win your little tournament you got going on.
They got a damn good product, bro. I'll give them that.
There we
and
go.
Last but not least, we have Justin McLovin. Andre, what's up, Justin?
Chica Chica. What's going on?
I want everyone to know before we started that McLovin, who's like a producer / little content creator, made all of us wait 10 minutes. So I would like to point that out before we get off the hop here. McLovin, you're lucky I can't hop a flight to Boston. I'd come right over there and strike you down.
No, you wouldn't. You're soft.
Oh, here we go.
McLovin calling him out. Get it.
I'm putting him over the knee later.
We'll never get those 10 minutes back, boys. Awful shame. But we do have some things to talk about finally, and it's great to have some hockey guys on the Blue Line tonight. We obviously had the commissioner come out, I think it was yesterday, and talk about the 24-team playoff schedule, and that's kind of exciting for us hockey nuts to see some hockey coming back. And let's get into a little talk about that, fellas.
Yeah, just get excited to get some hockey back. We've been waiting for this. They still have some things to talk about, where it's going to be played. We all know there's some hub cities. It's not etched in concrete yet, but they got something laid out, and they got, the Western Conference, Eastern Conference kind of 24 team tournament going, and it's exciting. There's some pretty good matchups. I can't wait to get into the matchups here in a little bit.
Yeah, definitely interesting. I mean, it's, who do you think got fucked? I think Minnesota had a tough pull. Obviously, they were on a bubble team to get the wild card, but, if they win, they got to play the Avalanche, which we've talked about on our show, possibly being the best team out there. So I think they got a tough pull. What do you guys think?
I mean, I don't think it's a guarantee that it's not 1, 2, 3, 4. They actually have to play for seeding, which is why
round robin.
Why Boston is getting absolutely screwed. They're the only team with 100 points, and they could end up number 4. So it's a unique
it's
format.
like, what did they play those 70 games for?
McLovin, if they're that fucking good, they should be number 1.
There you fucking go.
They're going to be number 1. All right, they're going to be number 1. Yeah. You can guarantee that right now. But it's a unique format. It's unique to everybody, especially the players, and it's going to be interesting to see exactly how it plays out at the end of July.
Yeah, I can we also talk about they had the best record during the regular season, and they should get the first. But unfortunately, that's not happening this year. They're going to have to earn it again.
Listen, nobody's getting anything they wanted, really. I mean, look at Minnesota. Obviously, they're getting in because they bitched and moaned and complained, and now you got a 24-team playoff format. So, I mean, if you're the top dog, play for it. Play for everything, man. This is what it is. It's all scrap. Like Brendan Moore said today, you basically played those 69 games for nothing. Everything, the grinding, the grits, it doesn't matter. It's all out the window because this tournament's going to decide it all. And the guys who are sitting waiting for a pick, Buffalo included, go ahead and sit and wait for your pick. See you in January.
Yeah, the big boys are playing now.
Yeah,
one thing I want to bring up is Tampa Bay. Chris. Tampa Bay, it's funny, when they went to approve the 24-team tournament, I can't let the Tampa Bay Lightning off the hook here.
I knew
because
this was coming.
They're absolutely a bunch of cowards coming out of that the state of Tampa Bay. We're talking about a team who, if they didn't have to play for the seeding, if that doesn't happen to be the case and they leave things alone, there's still a lot to be said there. But if that is the case, and Tampa Bay gets to go on and play and avoid Toronto and play one of the Islanders or the Panthers, they probably came out smelling like roses compared to everybody else. I think they would have had a hard time with Toronto in the first round. I really do. I think their speed would have been tough for the defense. I think their defense is slow. I think Hedman's good. I think McDonough's good, but they lack speed on that defense, and I think Toronto would have ran them into the ground.
Yeah.
I'm still curious to see how they can respond to last year's fucking choke. Until they can prove to a first and second round win, I'm not even going to talk about Tampa Bay.
Well, I mean, Tampa and Carolina were the only two teams that were bitching, right?
Said no.
Yeah, said no. So like Chris is saying, they are a bunch of cowards. I mean, what's your problem, first of all? And, the Carolina's just scared of the Rangers. The Rangers beat them up all season, swept that series, and I think they outscored them 17-9. So I could kind of see the Carolina their point of view, like, fuck, we got to play the Rangers. They're kind of like the Islanders back, what it was a year or two ago, where they're that team in the playoffs you're scared to play. And
man, especially if one of those goalies gets hot.
I would not be scared to play the New York Islanders because they have yet to win a single game since trading for JG Pageau.
Yeah.
They haven't
true.
won. They have not won, and they gave up a first and a couple other high draft picks.
A first, a second, and a third. They gave up a 1, 2, 3 for him.
And they have yet to win a single game. So there obviously no one is on a hot or a cold streak heading into this new tournament, but I've never been afraid of the Islanders, and I still wouldn't be now.
Well, you make a good point there, McLovin, as far as nobody is on that hot streak now. Like, if you look back to when the season paused, which teams were rolling and which teams were kind of struggling late in the season, but had the record from the beginning of the season to make the playoffs. So that hot streak that they might have had 2 months ago is completely gone, right? So they got to find that chemistry. So that's kind of fucked up. Like, I wish we talked about Minnesota, lucky to get in, but they were one of those teams who were starting to peak towards the end of the season. And then you had some other teams like you talk about that have been falling off. So it'd be interesting to see where these teams pick up once they hit the ice.
Montreal in the playoffs, ridiculous.
Hey, Montreal
Chicago
in the playoffs
too.
You hear about Max Domi. Max Domi might not be playing, eh?
Yeah, because he's got diabetes.
He has diabetes with the whole pandemic. They said if there's any chance if anything happened to him, they're not going to let him play.
No shit. Yeah.
Because COVID affects people with diabetes badly. And it's like with people that have had diabetes have had a way higher mortality rate. So they probably won't risk it with him. I wouldn't. They have millions invested in that kid. Why would you bother? For 5 games? For what? I wouldn't. Not if it were my money, I wouldn't.
If it's his decision, do you think he's going to say yes, he wants to play, or do you think he's...
Oh, of course. Yeah, he'll want to play. Yeah, right. He'll want to play, of course. Any of these guys would want to play.
Put his life at risk. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he would. I mean, he's young. Young people don't care. If you guys have seen the beaches, whether it be in California or right here in Toronto, people don't give a fuck that are like under 35. They just don't care. They're out every day. They're in the parks. They're packing together. I don't think Max Domi gives a shit. He'd rather have a chance to play for the Cup.
From a PR standpoint, I don't see them let him play. Just in case something happens, because that would be the one mark right there where they had the ability to stop it, and they didn't stop it, and that's what the league would use, and that's what PR would use, and that's what media would use. So if they can avoid that, they would.
They should.
Yeah, and they should,
frankly,
too.
Don't you guys think, honestly, though, that they're just, I think probably the media and stuff is just waiting for, something bad to happen and shut this shit down. And that's how I feel anyways. I think, they're going to be waiting for something, one player to get it and then to make an example out of whatever league they can make. But it's crazy. But like Chris just said, though, man, all these young people, I was out on the lake up here where I live in the North Country in northern New York. And I went into this tiny beach. There's probably 60 freaking kids having a fucking keg party out there, So they're not.
Oh yeah,
they're not concerned.
They think just because the weather's gotten nicer, they think they can just do whatever they want. but it's still
Yeah.
not even close to being done.
No,
Right.
no, it's to be debated about what's the right and wrong thing to do. But this is, it's wild, man. I don't know the answer. But Montreal, like you said, I know McLovin, you're saying it's awful that they're in the tournament, but Montreal, being a great legacy kind of team in the NHL, it's good for the fan base to have them in there. I mean, there's a lot of big time NHL fans in Montreal.
Carey Price can, he's a hot goalie, especially in playoffs. I don't know if he can block all the rubber that's coming from the Pittsburgh lineup, but that'll be an interesting series to watch there. And, it sucks. This is the first time heard about Max Domi, so that puts a dagger in Montreal. But Carey Price is a pretty good. I don't know. In my view, anyway.
It's not enough, though, right? We've had these conversations over and over. One person is not enough to win a fucking cup. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
I think the team that has the most to prove in this whole thing has got to be Arizona. They went all in with that trade for Taylor Hall, and now they finally get a chance to be in these playoffs. And they've been on a cold streak. They kind of kicked it up at the end before everything shut down. But if they're going to prove anything, it's now, and Taylor Hall needs to show up big time.
Oh, huge. I agree.
So
this is where you'll make his money right here.
What do you guys think about, the old thing when you hit the playoffs, having the veterans is a key for a team, having people with experience that have been there before. What do you think about it now, having more of the young guys that might be able to bounce back physically to get back in shape a lot quicker than some of your older guys that might take a couple more weeks to get back in game shape? Do you think these younger squads have the advantage in the first round?
Yeah,
They definitely do. I think they'll bring the older guys along with that momentum. You look at Marlowe when he was in Toronto and what he used to say about the young guns. He used to get him motivated, get him going, right, when the days he wasn't ready to go. So, I mean, I think like Kyle Clifford on the Leafs, Jake Muzzin, Jason Spezza, they'll all be feeding off these young guys instead of the way before where it's the old guys leading the charge saying, hey, this is what you need to do. This is what the playoffs will be like. This is the grind. I think it's going to be a reverse factor now. They're getting their legs. Young guys will
and I just want to say in that Toronto series, I got to say, of any team that this whole layoff has benefited, I got to think that Columbus has benefited the most. They looked pretty tough at times with all the injuries they had. They're going to come back. They're going to come back with a full squad. That's really interesting, and that's going to be the most interesting match. Exactly, a guy who swept Tampa Bay last year. This guy knows how to coach in the playoffs.
But that was
but it don't matter. Elvis Merzlikins is up for one of the best goalies. Well, is Freddie Henderson proven in the first round? Don't let it get to game 5. Don't let it get to game 5 with how Freddie Anderson plays. He'll let up 7 goals.
Hey, I'm just saying, off your experience right now, you can say that about Freddie Anderson. That's fine. No problem at all.
It's true.
But tell me what Merzlikins and Corpy's done in the first round. Tell me what they've done.
What has Freddie Anderson done in the first round?
Hey, I'm just telling you right now, they're young guys. They're young guys in rattled.
I know, but they haven't even had a chance.
Let's see what happens.
Cam Ward didn't get rattled. Jordan Binnington didn't get rattled. Jordan Binnington just won the Stanley Cup as a team. I mean, I know he's 20.
Come on now. You're going to compare the St. Louis Blues or the Columbus Blue Jackets?
I'm going to jump in here.
Know.
I'll say one point real quick is I'm impressed that Columbus shedded Bobrovsky, Panarin,
Duchesne,
Dzingel, still in the conversation, right? They're still
unbelievable coach. Tortorella is one of the best coaches in the league.
So to go back to a previous conversation, it validates the fact that Tortorella was fucking pissed that those guys left. So I'm going to leave that there, but I just wanted to make sure I said that. The one thing I'll say right now is this is unprecedented. So we can sit here and that's our job, is to sit here and banter and talk about this shit, but we don't know if the young kids are going to leave. We don't know if the old guys are going to leave. None of them have seen this before. No,
this is new territory for everybody. This is 24 teams that all have a shot.
That being said, everybody has had 3 months to lick their wounds, to heal, and to fucking be waiting to go back on the ice. So you don't know at this point. The Sabres started off 8-1-1. right?
Yeah, you don't know who's going to come out hot,
This is a fresh
man.
start. We don't know who's going to. We don't know.
They come out
exactly
hot
what's
every
gonna
year
happen.
and then they suck.
Well, that's a different story. But I'm just saying, as of this fresh start, this is unprecedented. Let's just keep this in mind. We don't know exactly what the fuck's going to happen. There is nothing to point to say, well, in the past this happened. This is new shit.
No, everything is out the window at this point, boys. I mean, this is like, there's no team coming in like, that was a bottom feeder that eked their way into the playoffs that's coming in with a massive amount of momentum. There's no lead dog anymore. Everybody's starting with like a blank slate. You can look at it like, well, maybe the young guys, are in better shape because they're younger. Well, maybe the older guys didn't. Maybe the older guys didn't go out and party, and they took care of their body through this whole thing because they're experienced and they understand the grind of the NHL. Maybe the young guys are going to come in, having a fucking hangover, from partying the night before because they think they're invincible and everything else. So it might flip flop. Who the fuck knows?
Well, the good news is that they're going to have a training camp because a lot of guys are known for coming to camp out of shape. One being Alex Ovechkin, the best goal scorer possibly in hockey history. He always comes to camp a little overweight and then works his way into the swing of things once he gets there. And tons of guys are known for that. But it's like, how much time are they really going to have? So, like, I know we're on day, 72 of quarantine, and I've drank about 69 times. So if anybody's like me, they're going to need more than a week to get back into shape. I mean, you might be right, D-Train, you might have that right on the head. The old guys might have been taking it easy while these young guys were just gassing beers all night.
Yeah, you might have to give you a couple of years to recover
at this point. What we're talking about is pure talent in the youth versus the wisdom of the older boys, right? So
I think we can all agree that it's going to be I think it's going to be sloppy for a little while, first 2-3 games. And then, it's hard. Everyone has their own decisions. I think the right balance, the right chemistry of the veterans and the rookies are definitely they might pull ahead a little bit just because, not the rookies, the younger guys, I guess I should say, they got the legs. They'll play through an injury on their, hamstring or some shit like that where the veterans won't do that, but they'll still play and kind of not back check and shit like that. So I think it's going to be sloppy, but I think that right balanced team might surprise you. And I think that Columbus-Toronto series is going to be a good one.
It's the most interesting of all of them. It's going to be a dogfight because there's one thing. I think Toronto obviously holds all the cards as far as being the favorite, and they should be able to outpace them. But John Tortorella just coaches disgusting defensive hockey in the playoffs. Frustrating. Like you saw Nikita Kucherov, the Art Ross winner, absolutely lose his mind in game 3, game 3, and like cross-check that guy in the head and got suspended. Like, they play that frustrating style. Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, John Tavares, like Nick Foligno, all those guys in Columbus are going to be poking at them, talking smack. They're a frustrating bunch of guys to play against. And I mean, the good news is that it's only 5 games because in a 7-game series, they're a tough team, man. Like they're John Tortorella coaches no bullshit, man.
Yeah. Hey, it's a good thing Toronto played Boston the past couple of years. You know why? Because they faced all that shit for 2 years from Marchand and Pasta and Chara and all that bullshit. So that Pokinen thing, they faced the Bear a couple of years and lost. So they might have a little bit of anger and angst to go into this one, I think, boys.
I think Columbus is tougher than Boston, though. I think Columbus is tougher than Boston as a team overall.
Yeah, I actually agree with that.
I'd say so. Boston's not tough anymore.
So
we're skilled.
Let's throw this out there. So say the Leafs do have their run this year finally, and they win the cup with an asterisk next to it. I mean, does it really mean that they won the cup?
No, there's no asterisk.
It'll mean everything to them if they do it. Doesn't matter.
I say no asterisks on this. I think this is a harder cup to win than in a shortened season. I think this is crazy, this format.
Especially now they have an extra round to go through.
Well, most times it takes 16 wins to win the Stanley Cup, but if you're a team playing in the playoff play-in round, what's that going to be? 19 wins. You're going to need 19 wins to get it done.
You're stealing my tweet, Mancuso.
Yeah, exactly, man. That's exactly.
Well-
I read that on Twitter, and that was obviously your tweet. I read that, and I was like, "Fuck, that's a great way to look at it." Good job,
Listen.
James.
leave the asterisk there, and the reason why I say leave the asterisk there, you go through 5 rounds of a playoff during a pandemic, coming off a layoff. If you win the cup, you deserve that damn asterisk as the beast mode champion. Period.
Yeah, that's a.
There we
I
go.
agree.
It's a badge of honor. Yeah, I mean, look, this year, these are crazy times. I'm very, just happy that they're going to distribute the cup and someone's going to get their fucking name on it. We're going to watch a little sports. We'll have some more distraction.
Yes.
But this is the hardest fucking championship cup to win. And,
Yep.
No matter what, if you got to win 19 games or 16 games, it's going to be a battle. And let's face it, every one of us are going to enjoy every fucking game.
Oh hell yeah!
Oh, hell yeah.
Now, since we
I'll-
talked about the Maple Leafs, I'll say one thing as well. I kind of put Toronto in the same place as the Tampa Bay Lightning. Toronto is one of the oldest teams in the NHL. Like every year, Toronto is hockey. Well, one of the biggest hockey towns. There's a lot of expectations, and every year they fucking fail. So they've got a lot to prove as well, man. And I don't mean James to, piss you off.
Oh, no. You're 100% correct.
Didn't make it.
You're 100% correct. They got a lot to prove. And you know what? It becomes with that maturity thing, though. You listen to Sheldon Keefe talk about it. These guys do need to mature. And how do you mature? You learn. You take your lumps. And I look at it this way. The Boston Bruins to the Toronto Maple Leafs are what the Pittsburgh Penguins were to Washington. So basically, Washington finally got over the Pittsburgh Penguin hump, and look what happened. So maybe
And
if
then
we
they
get
won it all.
Columbus goes back and then we get through the Boston Bruins, however way we do that, that may be the way we do it. And we have to learn, mature, and grow, and it happens. It sucks to be a Leaf fan sometimes because you hate losing to fucking Brad Marchand, but you got to take your lumps. We got good players, things can happen, but fuck. You're right. We haven't done anything, Mancuso, and we are on that same playing field as Tampa Bay where we got to prove some shit. And maybe during a pandemic, in the leafiest of all ways, we'll win a cup with no fans, no parade, no fanfare, and an asterisk. This will be the year that they fucking do it. You watch.
I wouldn't be surprised. I legit wouldn't be surprised.
They spent the
Don't
money.
hold your breath.
They spent the money already.
Who you guys? What matchup you guys looking forward to out in the West? I think the Oilers Blackhawks, just because there's going to be a lot of stars on the ice there. I like Draisaitl, MVP maybe. I don't know. Then you got
I like that matchup.
Oh yeah.
McDavid. You got all those boys, and you got the guy.
Patrick
Mike
Kane,
Smith's coming on hot.
Taves.
Patrick Kane. Days, yeah. So I think that one's going to be like a little star-studded little series out there.
You got the
I think if anyone could upset,
you got all Canadian matchup with the Calgary and Winnipeg. Usually, that'll get a lot of buzz in Canada because it's just
definitely.
all of that.
Sure.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah, I
big
don't know.
one.
Winnipeg
But
lost half the defense, so I don't know, man.
yeah,
Looks more of a thing for Calgary than anything.
do you
yeah,
guys think
true. I
about
think
that
Calgary
series?
should do all right.
Calgary should do all right. I think they're going to walk right over them. What do you guys
Yeah,
think?
I think Calgary's going to win.
Yeah.
I think Calgary's going to win as well. I think Matthew Tkachuk is going to be a pain in the ass. I think they have a good enough defense to get it done. Winnipeg, I don't believe in them that much, although I love Paul Maurice. He's a great coach, but it's been hard to keep players there for them.
I like Scheifele, but I mean, you look at a guy like Line, way too inconsistent. I mean, if he goes cold or he doesn't start off good, then you're buried already. So what does it even matter with him? I mean, if Nikolai either, same thing, hasn't been very hot either. So
Depends how big Liney's beard is.
I think said that his game is going to be shit once it starts. It's going to take him a little bit to, to ramp back up.
Yeah,
So
Ehlers and him are both too streaky.
I'll tell you though, Matthew Tkachuk is one of the funnest person to watch in the NHL right now. He is a gritty, tough fucker. He's always in your face. He's very creative on the ice. He's one of the, with Giordano and, Calgary's got a team out there anyways. But if they're on fire, that is a team to watch, I think. I think I have to say
Monahan, oh yeah, good guys.
since I'm in Raleigh right now, that I'm most interested in the Hurricanes and the Rangers right now.
Yeah, that'll be a great one. A lot of young people to really get an electric feel to that. Svechnikov.
Panarin is someone to watch.
I love Panarin.
Fire, though.
Great goaltenders for New York, too. Come on now. You got Lundqvist, Shirkin, and Georgiev. So, I mean, you got someone to stop the rubber at least, right? Stop the bleeding. So, that could be good.
You think Kreider's going to be available for that?
I could see that being an upfront.
Yeah, I think Kreider will be available. He should be, right, Justin?
I thought I read stuff that he is going to be available.
Yeah.
He'll be good.
Just an interesting game just because,
7 years.
Rangers do have 3 goalies. You got Adam Fox, who left Carolina, went to the Rangers. He's one of their, top 3, top 5 D-core. So that'll be a kind of interesting game playing back in Carolina. And like I said earlier, the Rangers beat up on the Hurricanes in regular season. So that is a good one. But I like the Canucks Wild. I think the Canucks, I'm a Wild fan, obviously, but I think the Canucks are healthy. I think that series isn't going to go too long there, unfortunately. But Canucks are healthy. But the Wild got them in 2-1. So that's another game, obviously, I'll be watching out in the West.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch that one, actually. I like Pettersson. I like Bessie. Especially Bessie being 100%.
Yeah, I like Chicago to upset. I think we're going to get the Edmonton Oilers. I think it would be so NHL to have the Chicago Blackhawks beat them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think it's going to happen. I don't know why.
Can't count Vegas out.
Corey Crawford.
I just think it's going to happen. I don't know why. I got a feeling that they're going to end up figuring it out.
What do you think the 2 hub cities will be? I think Vegas is a lock because they said they can take the entire hotel strip and dedicate it to the NHL for all the teams. And then they got to pick a second one. I'm pretty sure if the NHL is going to go with popularity, they'll either go to Toronto or Chicago. Because those are
the 14-day quarantine might screw that up here in Canada for that.
I saw Canada is not budging on their rules. They will not fudge the rules to make sure the NHL can play.
No, so it won't be Canada.
Well, we don't. You know what? I can say you probably don't know that yet. I don't know what the timetable they're giving Canada, the NHL, is to allow that 14-day window to pass. Obviously, numbers are going down across. I mean, here in Nova Scotia, we're about to open up. So if that continues and that trend continues, maybe that 14-day thing goes away.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough, though. They're going to have to say pretty quickly, right? Because logistically, they've got a lot to plan around to get, the teams in and out of there.
I want to ask you guys what you think of the fact that they don't want the home team. So say Vegas, if you use Vegas, they don't want the home team to be in that hub city for perceived advantages and perceived, home cooking and stuff like that. I read a lot about that. I'm just wondering what you guys think about that, if they want to take those teams away from their own city and put them in the other hub to lose that advantage.
Makes sense.
I think
that's fair, man. Yeah, it's totally fair. I mean, you can't if nobody's going to have the true home ice advantage or anything like that, why give a hub city, the team coming from that hub city that kind of advantage going forward? But definitely, this is such a weird fucking situation, man. I'm looking very much forward to this, but to answer your question, I think it's completely fair to put them in the opposite place and mix it up a bit.
No,
for sure. I mean, the home team definitely has advantage in the playoffs. I mean, obviously your crowd's rocking. I mean, there's not going to be any crowd though, right? So, I guess that advantage. What the fuck is the advantage, right?
You know the boards, you know the play.
Yeah, you know the rink, you know the city, you know your home, you're close to your own bed, things like that.
That makes sense. It should be interesting to just see with no fans. I mean, it's going to be like watching fucking minor hockey on video,
Getting laid by your girlfriend.
That German whatever company there, they had the piped-in sound for the fans or whatever for the soccer game. So you pay for whatever subscription, you log in, you can start cheering for your fans with a bunch of other Maple Leaf fans or Golden Knights fans or whatever. So that way you're all in. And it kind of weeds out the fact that you'd have those idiots that come in and are doing stupid shit. You're actually paying for a little subscription. So you're actually serious about it. So you're cheering, and then they pipe it into the stands or whatever, so that way everybody can hear it. So it gives that feel. So a goal scored, a hit, a fight, whatever, it's all getting piped in. So I hear they're looking at it. I was talking to Paul Bromby from Sportsnet. They're looking at it, but I don't know if they'll have it ready in time.
It's interesting.
They're gonna have to have like special face shields for this tournament. They must have them, right? Like I know the NFL was
full eye tech, right?
I'm pretty sure the NFL was looking into getting like face masks, like for the visors and stuff to cover any kind of contact, like face to face. And I'm pretty sure the NHL has to do that. Especially, it might be a little bit of an adjustment for people who don't like to wear visors. Like I know Chara doesn't like to wear one, but times like this, you're gonna have to adjust to anything that's thrown your way.
Well, when he broke his jaw, he wore one. He used to wear it.
He kind of had to at that point, but.
There's the no spitting thing, like there's no spitting allowed. I mean, if you've ever played hockey before, how many times do you spit when you're playing hockey? Whether it's on the bench or whether it's, before the face-off or
on another player.
It's a disadvantage for Brad. He can't lick anybody.
So, McLovin, have you guys heard anything about mask? I mean, I haven't really heard anything. I might have heard a little peep about it, but has there been like in-depth talk about this, or is this all just speculation?
Well, I just saw that the NFL was trying to implement, but they were trying to test out certain face shields that go into the actual face mask of the helmet because of this. And if the NHL was smart, then they would probably follow suit and try their own method. But that's just all speculation right now. The whole tournament is speculation at this point because we don't even know if it's a confirmation. It's just an idea.
They agreed to continue the conversation.
Right. Yeah. But, it's not confirmed because something could happen. A player could get it and it could spread wildly and everything could get canceled again. So as long as everybody stays on course, then we'll be fine. But everything right now is speculation.
Changes everything. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Spread like herpes at a frat party.
What do you guys think about Daly saying that if a guy tests positive that they're not going to pull the plug?
I saw that. They're just going to do away with them, have the player leave, test. So the players are going to get tested every single day. Is that right, or did I read that wrong?
No, they're going to be tested every
twice
2 days, isn't it? Twice a week.
Okay. So,
But if you're in a hub city or whatever and you're all stuck together, you're not going anywhere, I guess there's not much that's in for transfer other than people bringing in your towels or your food or whatever garbage man's coming in to bring that shit.
Right.
Yeah. I would say this, man. I think these players that are playing, they're not in a risk factor category. And if they are, they're not, like you talked about Max Domi earlier, they're going to keep him out of it. Not going to be any fans in the stands. There's not going to be old people watching this that are highly at risk. I don't know. If you look at the statistics of the actual disease, it's not affecting, for the most part, people in this kind of category. So, if somebody gets infected and the symptoms are mild and it's not spreading wildly, man, you just keep playing, man. We have to somehow get through this shit. We can't wait like a year and a half and hope we get a vaccine that may or may not work and destroy sport. It might not ever come. It may never come. You talk about look at the Ebola virus, for instance, right? Okay, so that freaking disease they said was going to come back, the following year, and that disease killed basically 100% of people that got it. It never came back when they thought it was going to come back. So, this is we've got to start kind of looking at things through maybe a different sphere than what we are right now. And if it's not something that's going to really, really, really hurt people, and we can play through this kind of thing and control it a little bit, I think it's worth perhaps playing through. And I think if you make an example of a league that can survive through this and show that everything is going to be okay, that's a really strengthening thing for the NHL. Like the NHL can set an example, like we can do it. Rest of the leagues in the world can do it. And I don't know. There's a lot of ways to look at this, but I don't think if one guy gets it, you shut it down. I kind of agree with that perspective, frankly.
Yeah.
If a big group of people get it, then maybe, but not just one guy.
Well, I look at the UFC with their
somewhere, right? So how we got there was everybody got tested, and they were quote unquote negative. but that wasn't true because somehow they got it. So there's something that we're missing.
Go ahead, James.
I was going to say, like the UFC, when they did their first pay-per-view, Jacare Souza tested positive for COVID-19, and they just took him away, just made sure he was away from everybody, took him off the fight card, and everything went forward, right? So that was the first showing of an event that was a live event. All the fighters were in one hotel. Someone tested positive. They removed it, went forward. So, I mean, there's your test balloon right there, what you do. You instantly remove that fighter. You test everybody again. Everybody's fine. You move forward. So I can see where Daly's coming from. The problem is, how close these teams are going to be. They're going to be with each other for meals. They're going to be with each other practicing, all the same rooms, sharing all the same stuff. So if one guy pops, it's more than likely another guy does. And then it just becomes wildfire, like you guys said.
I was going to go there, James, but I didn't want to be Debbie Downer right now.
Hey, listen, man. You gotta go across the whole spectrum, right? I mean, we're in Debbie Downer territory right now. This is the little light at the end of the tunnel. So let's talk about all the bad stuff. I always look at life. If you get the bad stuff out of the way first, then you can enjoy the good stuff afterwards. So talk about it now. Maybe we kill it.
Yeah, and I think the big conversation is to see how this goes, because what I've seen and heard, that the NHL, the owners don't really want to go forward for next season without fans financially. So, I mean, they don't think they can afford to play another season without, ticket sales. So
at $13 a beer, they need us.
Exactly. So, I mean, I think that this is kind of like, all right, well, we can do this to keep it going, but next year we're not going to do this shit again. I mean, we get people back in the stands, or financially the league's not going to survive. Basically take the players, don't pay them for a year until you're going to let the fans back in, I guess. I mean, what do you guys think?
I mean, I'm right there. I mean, you think about baseball. Like we're listening to baseball. How can baseball play without any fans in the stands? Those salaries are massive. So I mean, I don't know how this stuff keeps going. How do they pay those salaries without us? I don't see how that works. I don't know.
I think I saw something about the MLB. They're looking at massive pay cuts in terms of annual salary. Like I think Bryce Harper in Philadelphia, he's making like 35, like 40 million or something a year, and it could drop to like 7.
Damn, Gina.
So
well, they're also not paying the minor league players either, right? I think that's the Oakland Athletics who started that one, not paying their minor league guys. So I don't know if that's going to continue with the rest of the teams, and teams not paying the minor league guys, which I think for the Oakland Athletics, the guy's worth $2 billion, and it ended up being 1.1 million if he paid all the minor league guys that he's not going to pay. So that's what he's saving this year is 1.1 mil. So that's one way of doing it. Like you said about the salary reduction too, but it's going to suck. It's going to be a pinch, and I think players just aren't going to play. And
just Uber drivers.
So think about that, right? You're taking a huge pay cut. Are you really going to put yourself back into that to make a couple bucks? Which is not the millions that you make. I mean, we don't
to
know.
Get hurt, or
Yeah, I'll go play in the NHL right now, and you can bring all the fans you want into the rink, and I'll still go play. Right? Meow.
You count me in on that too. I'll take league minimum.
It's all about the money now. It's all about the money. It used to be about the prize, now it's all about the money.
Yeah. Well, boys, it's been fun to talk a little hockey and have, like you said, a little light at the end of the tunnel here, James, and finally maybe get some action on TV for us. It's been a pleasure having you boys on. It looks like Seltzer King is checked out for the night, but we still got McLovin and James here.
Out. You didn't see that? He passed out and hit the
fell over backwards. Yeah, fell over backwards.
Done. I saw him fall right over. Yeah.
We want to thank James for coming on. He's got his podcast. Check out his podcast. It's Offsides Hockey Talk. We got McLovin and Chris Mancuso here from Get the Puck Out podcast. So check them out as well. It's been fun having them on the Blue Line Hockey Club tonight, and it's been a pleasure, boys. So before we get everybody going, let's just get everybody's pick for the Stanley Cup winner. Let's go around the horn. With you, Pete. What do you got, Pete?
Oh, you're going to put me out first. Great.
Yeah. Well, Buffalo's not in it, so
no.
Take your pick.
Fuck. Put me right on the spot. I think I'm going to go with Colorado.
A safe bet there.
None of my teams. I'm going to go out on Sully and say Colorado's got all the horses.
Yeah, I'm going with Colorado too. I picked them beginning of the year. They got young bucks out there. They're going to come back and fucking shooting rubber left and right.
Kale McCarr, boys. Kale McCarr.
All right, James, who do you got, man? Probably the Leafs, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, listen, Homer picked to be the Leafs, but I was on with Pete Jensen of the NHL.com, and I said Colorado at the beginning of the season too. So I will go with Colorado. Good old Cole Harbor boy and Nathan McKinnon. So Kale McCarr there too. So let them tear it up. I think Colorado's going to take her down, boys.
Yeah, McKinnon.
You too. What do you got, D-Train?
The New York Rangers.
Hey, man, that might be my second pick. 3 goalies. Justin said that earlier, or someone said that. I mean, takes goalies to win a Stanley Cup, boys.
Yeah. And how about McLovin? What do you got? Fucking bees or what?
Bees.
I really do hope that it's Boston and Colorado. I predicted that back in 2014 when Boston won the President's Trophy, and that ended up going to shit real quick. But if it's going to a 7-game series, I predicted Boston and Colorado would be in the Stanley Cup final.
Weren't you like 14?
Yes, I was, but I built a lot of shit back then.
You're still fucking having wet dreams and shit.
But in a 7-game series, Colorado would kick our ass. So I'd go Colorado.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna go a little underdog, and we got a hometown boy out in Minnesota, and I'm gonna hopefully see him get to the Cup.
Yeah.
So
Number 10, the Minnesota Wild.
Let's see Jordan Greenway get to the Cup.
You know what?
Voice that fucker up.
I'll tell you what. If we didn't have to go through the pause, you know what? Minnesota was fucking right on all cylinders.
They're buzzing.
We haven't said anything about the Philadelphia Flyers. The Flyers were fucking cruising too. I hate
They cost me so much fucking money this year. Shut up about them.
I hate to roll it out, but goddamn, you can't. You know, don't sleep on them. Don't sleep on them.
No, don't. I did all year. Trust me. I started the season off saying that Toronto would finish above Philly and then with more points than Philly, and every time I just added more money to the bet. Yeah, that bit me in the ass real hard.
Yes,
All right, boys. Well,
That's why you're wearing that
the picks are in, boys. The picks are in. All right, so we'll see what happens, and hopefully this shit gets going soon. And like I said, pleasure having you boys on. Get on BlueLineHockeyClub.com to listen to this episode or any of the podcast platforms. Also, you can check out this video on our YouTube channel as well if you want to see our ugly mugs. And check out all our social media platforms as well. All right, boys, it's been a nice one with the Blue Liners. And until next time, keep your stick on the ice.
See ya.
Sweeto! Let's go Rangers!
Oh, doctor.
Meow.
Keep your head up.